Hi, welcome to the show. I think you're going to enjoy this one. I know I am, because we not only have two wonderful guests, human form, we also have a few felines, which we'll meet here in a second. But first, let's meet the people that are here to tell us about what they do here in this community. Today, I'm very happy to have with me Don Witt, the Executive Director of Homeward Bound Pets Adoption
Shelter.
and the Board President, Georgann Purcival. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. It's great.
Well, let's just start with why Homeward Bound Pets? What's the problem? We've got cats. Everything seems pretty nice right here.
We're overpopulated. People need to take responsibility to get them spay and neutered so they don't reproduce, because they can't find homes for them after they're born. So they abandon them in the country, say they'll take care of themselves, let them run around the neighborhood, and then they reproduce, and then their babies reproduce, and it just goes on.
And that's probably the main reason that Homeward Bound started.
Yes.
And this was noticed when? Or, excuse me, not noticed, but when did someone, was it you that said, hey, we've got to do something about this? How did that
Well, originally, when it started in 1975, it was with Julie Juleson, and she was more interested in saving the dogs. Cats were so secondary. The dogs were being overpopulated, abused, neglected. And I know Georgann's been doing a lot of research on our history, because we just celebrated our 40th year. And so Georgann's got everything all up there.
Well, Georgann, can you tell us about that? How did it get started, and how's it come to where we are?
Well, when Julie moved to this area in 1975, they had just lost their dog, and they were great dog lovers, and they wanted to have a dog. And Julie went out to dog control to look for a dog, and she realized pretty soon that large numbers of dogs were being euthanized because they were very overpopulated, and that upset her very much. And she continually would go out and find a dog. In fact, they gave her a dog, and she would take it home, and she would arrange for an adoption. And she did this a few times, and someone there said, you should start a humane society. And lo and behold, she just did that on her own and got help in the community. And so their interests were dogs initially, but then they realized there were a lot of homeless cats as well, and they began to handle cats. And the Yamhill County Humane Society was formed in 1975.
And today, there was some sort of change happened in 2011. What was that?
Well, they had just come to the realization that they needed to treat it a lot like a business, because if you just keep giving and focusing on helping, and then you don't have anything to come in, we're a business. We're a nonprofit, but in order to be successful, to keep homes and try and find homes and get healthy animals, we need to have income. So I was hired in 2010 to kind of go out in the community and start treating it more like a business. And we had our thrift shop on Lafayette Avenue that had been there for several years. We expanded the hours, we expanded the days. We're now open 6 days a week from 10 to 5 every day. It started out in 2010 with about $16,000 a year income, and at the end of this year we're gonna be over $60,000. And what I really like about the $60,000 is Roger from JW Carstar gives us the building for free. So we have no overhead. We pay about $150 a month in utilities, just a flat rate, $80 for our internet and telephone, and then everything over and above that is profit. It's all run by volunteers. I spend about 10 to 15% of my time there. I am a paid employee, but other than that, it's you donate something for $1 or buy something for $1. I'm betting 94 cents of that dollar goes to the care and feeding of the dogs and cats at the shelter.
Now, care and feeding, and there's a lot more expense than that you've been telling me about.
Yes.
Tell me about the money that's behind these two animals. First of all, maybe I should introduce them too.
Yeah, I think that
we have here. I have a bio. Excuse me. Okay, that worked out all right. This is Banshee, and she says, "I was brought into the shelter with my mom. We were very sick. Now I'm all better, and looking for my forever home." Well, hopefully a little TV time will make that happen.
Yeah, Banshee's about 5 months old, And her adoption, or is it him? His adoption fee is $95. Well, in this cute little kitty that we have right here, as with all of our kitties, we get them surrendered to us. We ask for a $10 surrender fee for a kitty. Lots of times people go, it's not my cat, I just found it. So they're not going to give us the $10, so we take in the cat. And we, first of all, test the cat to make sure it doesn't have feline AIDS or feline leukemia. Feline AIDS, a cat will live a long, healthy life, but it will give other cats AIDS, so you want to make sure that your cat, if it has been diagnosed with AIDS, lives with another cat. It won't give it to humans, it won't give it to dogs, it won't give it to anybody else, just other felines.
So it shouldn't be living with other cats?
It shouldn't be living with other cats unless the other cat has AIDS.
Okay.
And we have adopted out cats that have AIDS because they have another AIDS cat at home, so that's fine. The feline leukemia, it's not really proven that they will die, but they will have a much, much, much shorter life if they have leukemia. And so first of all, that's what you want to test the animal to make sure that you're adopting out a healthy animal. Then you need to vaccinate them against that. If they do come up negative, then we vaccinate so that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen as they get older. Then we need to take them and get them spay or neutered. Then we need to make sure that they've been treated for fleas, worms, and ear mites.
Oh my gosh.
And we need
What a list.
we need to treat them for rabies. We need to, what's the other
Vaccinate
vaccine?
for
Just
rabies.
Vaccinate for rabies. And then what's another vaccine they get?
Well, the FVRCP, FELV is a combination.
Oh, that's a
with
combination against the AIDS and the
distemper
feline
and
leukemia.
some other viruses.
So in this little kitty right here, we have about $308, $310 in every one of our kitties. This one came in sick, as your card said,
Yeah.
that she came in sick with her mom. So I'm going to guess, I don't know, that she had an additional vet bill of maybe $50 up to $100. We don't know. We had a kitty in a couple months ago that came in and its eye was so closed up. By the time we took it, had the vet look at it, the eye had been closed and infested for weeks. We had to have the eye removed. We had to have the eye sewn shut. We had to keep that cat for 4 months to get it back healthy because it was totally covered with ringworm as well. I bet the vet bill on that cat was close to $600, and we'll still say, could I have the $95 adoption fee for this little kitty?
For the same cat.
Right, so they're all different. And then we'll get the fluke with the person that you're moving and you have your cat you've loved and it's fixed and it's rabied and it's got all that, and you say, Homeward Bound, please find this animal a home. And we don't have to do a thing for it other than our internal test. So but that's rare.
So the cats are vetted, I guess, so to speak.
Yes.
And,
Yes, right.
and the vets don't donate the time. I mean, they can't do that. There's
They can't.
hundreds and hundreds of animals.
There is. Now, a lot of we work with all the vets in Yamaha County. They're wonderful. They support Homeward Bound, and they'll give us a break when they can on the things that they can, but they just can't say, hey, we'll take the cat in for free. And
Because you'll bring
It's
them a
their
batch of
business.
kittens that will take them most of their day to process, is
Exactly.
that right?
Now, I believe we got a litter of kitties in about 3 months ago that we called the cop kitties because the McMinnville police brought them in, and we named them all police names so we could remember. And they were already kind of at the same time, so we said, here we have these 7 or 8 cats, will you fix them? And a vet can't do that. It's a surgery.
For free.
And yeah, so
And even that overwhelms a single office.
it does. It does.
So you
definitely.
spread this around. How many cats get vetted every year?
Well, we adopt out this year. We're thinking about 350 cats
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year, and we hold about 60 that keep turning over.
Yeah.
So you could say at this given year we've had 410 cats on our property. 350 have already been adopted. There's 60 there, and then when 10 of those go, then 10 new ones will come in, and it just keeps turning over and over like that.
Well, it's time to meet our other guest here. This is Tabby.
Such a unique name.
Now, do people usually keep the name, or do they sometimes change the name? What would you
I
say?
say they
think most people
change
change
it
the
more.
name.
They change it,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So this is a,
With a dog, if a dog has a name, he's used to hearing
yeah.
"Jeet."
Yeah.
And so if you change it to "Boop," he won't understand that. But a cat, they're like, yeah, I'll come to you when I want anyway.
All right, reasons for surrender. I was very pregnant when I came to the shelter. My kittens and I were fostered by a very nice lady till we were ready for our forever homes. Might that be with you? Now, this is a calm animal.
This is, yes.
She will
very
just lay
calm.
on your lap Yes, she will just lay in your lap and
Right.
keep you company all day.
Now, what's interesting about Tabby is she's 11 months old. She's already had a litter. The litter's already been taken from her and adopted. A cat can have their first litter at 4 months, correct?
Oh,
Some people
4
go,
to 6
"Oh,
months is
yeah."
typical.
Some people
yes.
go a year. We can get the cats fixed at 2¼ pounds. So because I eat so much butter in my life, I'm like, okay, 2 pounds of butter and a
yeah,
kitty.
yeah.
Then that kitty can start having
Reproducing.
babies. So that's what people need to be aware of. They're like, oh, it's a year. Like they can already have 2 litters at a year.
now I learned something when we were talking before, that there's a season for cats. There's 2 seasons.
Spring and fall.
Main kitten
Ma-
seasons,
ma-
right.
Main kitten season. That's when we just get inundated, is spring and fall. So we're talking like May, June, and later September, October.
So for now, you've worked through that.
We've worked through it. This one was born in August. So she was either a late spring kitty or an early fall kitty, because she wasn't either.
We kind of had them all summer long,
We did.
really.
The weather was very, very odd this year, so I think that might have something to do with the reproduction and when they breed. Has to do with the weather.
Weather change affected
Yeah.
your cycle. Well, let's see, there's one more fact here on Tabby's page. I don't want to hurt her feelings, but she only goes for $75
Yes.
instead of
She's an older
95
kitty,
here.
yeah.
Yes, she's called a teen.
Okay.
A teen is 75, and then the young kittens are 95. We go up to an adult, which is over a year, they're 55, and then we go to a senior, they're over 7, and they're 35.
Now, but I can go down to some of the box stores and get them for free. People are usually there out in the parking lot, right?
Yes,
so
you
why
can.
not? Why not do that?
Well, sometimes, Cam, the free kitty isn't free. You'll get the free kitty and you'll come home and you go, look what I got for free. And then the responsible person in the family will go, okay, well, now we need to vet it.
Yeah.
We need to make sure it doesn't have feline AIDS or feline leukemia. Because feline AIDS, it will live a healthy life if it's on its own.
Yeah.
But if it has feline leukemia, it will have a short life and it will end up with a painful death. So we test that. It's called a SNAP test. Then we vaccinate against that. It's called what is it, Georgann? The FVRCP?
FVRCP, FELV.
And FELV, those are the two
distemper feline
that we're
AIDS
vaccinating
series.
against. Then they need to be fixed so they don't reproduce. We need to treat them for fleas, worms, and ear mites, because it's just something cats get, and you need to continually treat them for that. Then we also treat them for rabies, give them rabies vaccine.
So
Vaccinate.
when you come home from that cat from the parking lot, if you're going to be a responsible cat owner, you need to do that, and that's going to cost you $300 if they're healthy.
Yes,
Easily,
if
yeah.
they're healthy.
That's
Yeah,
just
if you're
that's
getting,
the minimum.
yes, exactly.
So it's a bargain to go to our pets and get an animal for
Absolutely.
It is,
95,
and
75.
it's so hassle-free because it takes many trips to the vet.
Yeah.
Take them there,
So
get
think
them
of your own
fixed, bring
time.
them back, so yeah.
And you don't know the
then
outcome.
plus you're making sure that the cat that we have, someone cared about them, turn it to us, and we can get it at home.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say that when cats get adopted, they go through enormous amount of stress, and they will sometimes get themselves sick with a weepy eye, upper respiratory.
When they change homes.
When they change homes, even when we get them, let's say you were moving and your cat's been healthy for 3 years and give them to us, they internalize so much they'll get sick. So then we'll need to treat them. So sometimes you'll adopt out a healthy little baby like this, and then you'll get him home and you'll call up and you'll go, gosh, he's sneezing, his eyes are weepy. You'll have to give him an antibiotic, and it's something that passes. They're very, very felines are very, very stressed animals, even though they're just laying here like fine.
Yeah.
They do internalize a lot, and like a dog, you can change his food every day. Fine, give him this one day.
Yeah.
These cats, they need to have that same kind of food, whatever it is. But when you change them, they need to be changed gradually. That's how delicate they are.
Well, you're taking good care of this one, I think. It's pretty happy.
It's very calm.
Oh,
I don't know if
yeah.
they can hear them, but we've got
Oh, he's
one.
purring.
I can hear the purr.
We've got some purring going on there.
Oh, and he's kneading. He's there, so he's just a happy little baby, aren't you?
Oh, that is great. So we have cats. What about dogs?
We take in dogs. Unfortunately, dogs can't be housed like cats. Like we have 2 catteries, Hope House and Main House, and we can put 35 cats in each if we have to, because what there is there's temperament involved. When I first
With
started the
dogs?
shelter, no, with cats.
Oh.
When I first started the shelter, I said, well, why can't we put 50 cats in there?
Yeah.
Well, because this one argues with that, and he needs that corner all to himself, and this one. So you need to keep their temperament kind of at bay. So if you have too many animals in one cattery, which is a house, it used to be a little house. It's got a kitchen and a living room and another room, and then we have a catio that's got screens so they can see the sun and the wind. If you
They're
put
free
too
roaming.
many, they're free roaming.
We don't
Yeah.
have them in cages.
They're not caged. No.
So the cattery is a room of 10 by 10, 12 by
yeah.
12?
Yeah.
With
They're little
runways
houses
and-
with rooms. And
Oh, okay, and they can go in and out.
Yeah.
and-
They can just walk all over. Yeah, it used to be a house actually on the property of the shelter, and then they just turned it into a cattery. So anyway, as I was saying, the cats can be in one area. With dogs, each dog needs to have a kennel. I wish we could have roam-free dogs,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's too many different breeds, too much anxiety, too much abuse that they don't know what they got what they went through before we got them.
Yeah.
So each dog has a kennel, and we only have 12 kennels. So we rely, and we would love to have more foster homes. So what that means is, Ken, if you've got a love for dogs, and you have an area that you could take in a little puppy, or you could take in a small adult dog, or a bigger dog, and you could run with them every day, and you could teach them to be comfortable getting in and out of cars, and have him your own dog while we try and adopt him out, and he's not living in our shelter in that kennel. So he knows what it's like to see mom and dad come home. He knows what
Socialized.
it's like to see a couch and be socialized. He's going to be a happier dog when that possible adopter, we call you either to bring him down or we'll go to your house, however it's easier for the foster. And then that dog's like, oh, this is another good person.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what they're like
build
before
up
you get
trust
them.
with people.
Yes, exactly. So our foster homes, we have foster homes for cats. Not that that's down pat, but we have more. But it's the dogs that are difficult because they are more time consuming. They want more of your attention. They want to say hi to you when you come in. A cat's like, yeah, fine, I'll talk to you later. A dog's like, can we go now?
Well, I'm getting some attention now.
Yes, you are.
The dogs, how many dogs do you have in foster homes?
Oh, probably only 4 or 5.
Uh-huh.
And that again, dogs have seasons just like cats.
Ouch.
It's mainly just one season a year. That's usually springtime when the puppies are there. We don't get a lot of puppies, but when we do, we really don't want them on shelter property because the disease are rampant in shelters. You cough at one end of the cattery, or you have a cat cough,
Yeah.
and it'll spread to all the other cats. This one little cat gets ringworm, then everybody needs to be, treated. So a puppy can't get shots until he's 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So he's just all there. He has no protection. So if a dog comes in from one of the other kennels, and he might have kennel cough or parvo, or tell me some heartworm, that can go to that little puppy so easy. So we would really love to have the puppies off property. So if anybody would like to foster, and then if you want to go away, say, hey, I can't foster them for these 2 weeks. They'll come back to us for the 2 weeks or go to another foster, and then you can have them back again. And we love failed fosters. Failed fosters means,
Oh, I think I know what
Dawn,
that
I
means."
fell in love with
Yeah.
this one and this one and this
I'll
one.
keep them, thank you.
So we love failed fosters. We have a lot of failed fosters with the kitties. We really do.
Good
foster
program.
homes are very important with the very young kittens as well. In the same way, they're very susceptible to disease, so it's much healthier for
Get them
them
out of the shelter.
to socialize them and have them in a home
While they
rather
get
than
their
at the
immune
shelter.
systems.
Yeah.
Up.
Now it's a piece of cake if you want to foster a mama and the kitties, because the mama takes care of everything.
Yeah.
The mama feeds them, she poops them, she cleans them after them until about 6 weeks, and the mom's like, yeah, get off. And then you have 6 little mouths you need to deal with and the mom. But then they're only 2 weeks away from us being able to take them back to get them vetted and their shots and get them spay-neutered and move them along to get adopted.
Let's talk about your finances. You said you have these vet bills add up per year approximately.
About $75,000, $80,000 every year for vet bills. Yes.
So let's go back to the thrift shop. People want to help. I think Homeward Bound Pets is one of the more popular nonprofits in town. I notice I'm a member at First Federal, and we vote on what
Yes, on the ballot.
agencies will. Yeah,
Yes.
and usually Homeward Bound is, I don't know if number 1 or number 2.
Oh, thank
isn't that true?
It is.
Yeah.
It's been number 1 for 3 years, and
Oh.
and we so appreciate that. It just shows the confidence that the community has in Homeward Bound.
There's a lot of attention then, and you have a lot of people
is.
that care. So maybe some people are watching today that say, well, I would like to get involved. I want to help, but maybe I'm allergic, so
Right, no,
I could
that's
go
true,
to the
right.
store, right?
shop.
I
Yes,
could go
you
to
could,
the...
you could come to the thrift shop. It's all run by volunteers. We have about 30 volunteers. We have 2 shifts a day, AM and PM shift. We're open from 10 to 5, Monday through Saturday. And we have ideally 3 volunteers per shift. It's usually 2, but 3 is perfect. And they run the thrift shop. And it's all run by volunteers. We get the building donated by Roger and Diana from JW CarStar.
Yeah.
We have a very small overhead with our utilities, about $150 on our internet and phone. So, and I am paid, I'm the executive director, but I only spend about 10 to 15% of my time overseeing the thrift shop, interviewing the volunteers. So they run the shop. And it's a great thing for a retired person to do. We've had a lot of young girls that have no work experience and they fill out an application and they're like,
They've
well,
got
I don't
experience.
know. They've been volunteering with us for running the cash register, doing customer service, sorting and pricing, and they put that on the job. We just got a girl about 3 months ago, got a job at the dollar store because she had some experience.
Right there.
They worry about just getting the high school student with nothing.
And another way to help is everything we sell is donated. So people have used books, household items, dishes, kitchen items,
Jewelry.
toys,
And
children's
you collect them there at
toys.
the store.
Absolutely.
So
to
what are
bring
your
in
what are your best
donations.
sellers? What do you really like when it's dropped off there at the...
Wow. Home decor is what we
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Everything
Okay.
that you set around your house.
Yeah.
And then
That's where
kitchen
people
and
come
soft
shop.
goods. We don't
Okay.
do clothing.
Okay.
Clothing is this little thing that just grows, but we do have an account at New to You. If you have clothing you'd like to donate, take it to New to You and say, put this on Homeward Bound Pets account. I'll leave it with you, and then we get a check from New to You a couple times a year. So that helps. But we do soft goods, meaning tablecloths, linen napkins, sheets, comforters, and we have a whole room that's called our soft goods room, and it's probably the most popular because we'll get some old estates and we'll get this linen tablecloth that's just hasn't had hardly any wear and it's tucked away in a corner, and we'll bring it in, and our prices are giveaway prices. It's amazing what our prices are.
Well, our book room's very popular too. And we have actually an old hall that's now a book room, and it's hard to find prices like we have. You can get a paperback for 50 cents and a hardback book for $1.
Yeah, and they're all alphabetized
Yeah,
per
alphabetized.
author. We have a gentleman that drives all the way from Beaverton or Tiger, David. He drives once a week, and he takes all our books that we get in, and he sorts them all. He puts them on the shelf, alphabetizes them, watches for some vintage books, and then he'll look up on the internet and sell the vintage books in the thrift shop for maybe $3 and $4. And he just loves doing that, and we so love him to do that because it's amazing. The book room, you can go in and go, okay, I want a cookbook, I want a gardening book, I want to read about dogs and cats, I want novels. It's really nice. Then we do furniture, we do jewelry, we do a lot of jewelry, a lot of costume jewelry. We even found a gold tooth the other day. Got to take it in for $180 with a little piece of gold sitting in the bottom of a box. One of my volunteers went, oh, I think this is a gold tooth. So.
A lot of dishes and glassware and
China and crystal,
paintings and decorative items.
Sounds like a fun place to work and a fun place to be.
It is.
It
The
is.
volunteers love it. This is what it's the volunteers at work there enjoy coming there.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, good. Can I work 2 shifts a week? They do that. I've got some that
A
work
good
2
place
shifts
to
a
make
week.
friends and have a good
It
time.
is, and have a kind of a family. It's hard when you're in your 50s and 60s and don't go to school and don't go to bars. How do you meet friends? And we have a lot of people that just moved into the area. So it's amazing. I love it.
Now, when you talked about someone working there and then able to find other employment because of their experience, it reminded me that you talked about Express Personnel
Yes.
and their supporters. of
Stevie
yours.
Whitehead is a very good supporter of Homeward Bound. She supports us in a lot of different ways, and I just really appreciate her support. And it's hard when I talk to you about naming 1 or 2 or 3 people, because I know there's so many that I'm not thanking and we're not bringing up, but the community support is amazing
Well,
for
a few
Homeward Bound.
that I've we talked about. Harvest Fresh has been so generous donating to your
Yes,
functions. Now, tell us about the 2 pet stores in town.
Oh, Nature's Pet and Petco.
how they're
Why don't you
involved.
talk a little bit? Okay. Nature's Pet, We would do adoption events at Nature's Pet maybe once a week, and then Alan Wittaz, the owner, said, I think I'm going to build a little cat condo. So he took his front window and built, it's probably...
Two-story cat condo.
Two-story, I would say it's 8 feet. I'm not good at measuring.
Yeah.
2 stories so the cats can sit and look out the window, and then they can walk down this little ramp, and that's where they can have their litter box and eat. And they can live there 2 and 3 weeks. So we adopt cats out there. We have them there 24/7. Alan has the adoption forms. He knows how to interview the person. He takes the money for Homeward Bound. It all goes to Homeward Bound. None of the pet stores take any cut. In fact, Pet Smart out in Tigard actually pays us a $10 bonus for every animal that we adopt out.
So you take animals over there?
We do house our animals at PetSmart and Tigard. They
Cats.
have our cats, just and we bring our dogs for adoption, but we don't house them there. But the cats, they're a big cat room, and they have huge cages, and it's locked to the general public, so they can't hurt the cats. And they actually have to say, "I need your help. Could you come in?" And then they'll bring the cats out and show it to you. They have the applications, and they work very closely with our shelter manager, Heather Broden, and they can ask any medical questions because they have all the medical history there, and we adopt out a lot of cats through there.
And this is very effective. A lot of
Very effective because we're getting a different demographic. Here we have Yamhill County, and then that's it. There they get a lot of people from Multnomah County and Portland area that want a place in order to get animals.
because pet stores no longer can.
They can't deal with puppy mills any longer. You can't go to your
They can't order animals
They
for
can't
sale.
order animals.
So they come to
Exactly.
you.
They come to shelters and say, I want to help you. They come to the Newburgh shelter. Like I know Newburgh shelter partners with, what's the one in Newburgh? Critter Cabana. You see animals in Critter Cabana, they're coming from the Newburgh shelter.
Now, some of the stores offer place for the animals to stay overnight, and some don't.
Right.
So when they don't, you have volunteers.
Right. Usually on Saturday and Sunday are our 2 key days. We're always looking for volunteers too, to either in McMinnville or Wilsonville or Tigard or Salem to go for 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you just need to pick up the animals from the shelter and drive out there. They supply the tables and everything like that. We give all the medical records and just let people pet the cats or dogs and say, "Chief, would you like to adopt this?" And it's a fun thing because people fawn all over the animals and you get stories and it's a fun thing, but it takes a dedicated volunteer to go, Dawn, I'll volunteer to do the second Saturday of every month. And if I'm going to go away on vacation, I'll let you know and we'll get someone else. That's what we need.
So this is the, should I call it, socially responsible way to get an animal. Instead
Yes.
of picking one out of a parking lot at Safeway or Walmart here in town
Right.
for free, you would go to one of these stores,
Correct.
pay the $95.
Yes. And like
it goes all to you.
It goes all to us, yeah. Now, Nature's Pet even gives a little welcome home packet. They'll give a litter box and a toy and some litter and some food, and make you realize that your cat, how to take care of and what you need for your cat. And Petco does the same thing in a different manner. They give you a coupon book and then you can go buy things, as does PetSmart. They just want you to get this animal and be able to take care of it.
Well, we've just got a minute left. We've covered so much ground.